Okay, it's on.
Yeah.
All right. The one of the great things about the Copco Lake community um, is that over time, it's interesting. You have a turnover of people who are here, and you can tell how long somebody's been associated with the area by who they remember used to live in a particular place. And my recollection goes back to the 1970s, so I sometimes refer to people's houses by people who lived there 3 or 4 owners ago. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. But the unique thing about this is that no matter who moves in, they become part of the community, and it really is a close knit community that's centered around this lake. And you have the village area over here on the east end of the lake, and then you have the homes that are out towards where the dam is located. Um, but when there's community activities, everybody comes together, and and I think people really care about this area and the way it is. I don't see any reason to disrupt that way of life for these people. There's a lot of unknown when you do something like removing a dam that's been there for decades and decades, and they say, "Oh well, we're going to take it back to the way it was originally." Well, maybe not. You have no idea what's going to happen. You don't know, what are you going to do with all of the contaminated silt that's behind the dam? You can't just let that go down the river and contaminate everything else. Um, Unless everything is done properly and with enough foresight, there's a possibility you could do much more harm than good. It's kind of like when you have asbestos ceilings in your house or something, you say, "Hey, I want to get rid of this," and sometimes the contractor comes and says, "You know what? You're better off just leaving it where it's at." And that's the way I think this stuff behind the dams is as well. There is some nasty pollutants in the sediment that are behind the dams. Have nothing to do with the algae, but they do have to do with other industrial type of pollution. And those are now just stuck behind the dam, sitting there, not bothering anybody. As soon as you disrupt that, and it flows all the way down the river, it's going to flow all the way to the Pacific Ocean, out there to where Klamath is, near Crescent City. You could end up not only disrupting the Klamath River, but you could end up disrupting a portion of the northern coast of California and the fishing industry out there. And as I said, I don't understand the value in doing what they're doing. What's the risk and reward of doing what they're doing? Everybody seems to think this needs to happen so that they can. I've heard even California's governor say, "Oh, the Klamath is a sick river," and everything. What does he know? The river's beautiful. You drive out to I-5 and you cross over at Hornbrook. The river's beautiful. There's people down there fishing. The
Oh,
river's
there's
not sick.
a lot of fish right now.
Yes, and it's nice. Now, are they the fish that maybe people want? Maybe not. But the fact is there's really nothing wrong with these dams. There's nothing wrong with these lakes. The other odd part is that we're now in year, what, 7 of a drought, maybe even longer. And everywhere you look, this area is very dry. Everywhere you look, the lakes are down, the creeks are down, everything's down. And now is the time that they want to remove dams, and so the reservoirs aren't here anymore. Forest management is very poor in the state, from the standpoint that um, a lot of the clear cutting is not allowed anymore and things like that. And so then the wildfires come through. Well, a clear cut is really is like a controlled burn, because when they clear cut an area, they take a patch of trees out, and then part of the process is they replant in those areas. That area within 20, 30 years has got full-grown trees once again in that area. When these wildfires whip through here and they burn it down, it might take 50, 60 years before that area ever recovers. If they manage the forest better, yeah, from an aerial view, maybe it doesn't look really pretty to see this patchwork of clear cuts. But from a resources management standpoint, it makes a lot more sense to allow that kind of management or that kind of forest management than to just let these fires burn. But because they're taking the stance where they just let the fires burn, this reservoir is a huge resource for the helicopters who drop the water on the fires. And if you take that away, you take Iron Gate away, you take Copco away, where's the water going to come from to fight these fires? It's not going to come out of Shasta, Lake Shasta. Shasta's the lowest I've ever seen it in my life. And I just don't understand. It's almost like people just want what they want, and they don't care about the repercussions of what they do. So, not that my voice is any great authority, but we really do need to save this lake. We need to save the dams, save the reservoirs, until we can get some common sense solutions to the problems that they're really trying to get. And we just need to take a step back, regroup, and find a better solution to the actual problem that the people down in the lower part of the Klamath are facing. I'm sure they're facing something. I'm not going to dismiss their complaints or their issues, but we should find a better way to address those than just wholesale take out these dams and let the river flow, and the devil may care what happens. So.
Thank you.